The Dodgers make some big roster moves. We got some injury updates. Gavin Stone was dominant. What could that postseason rotation look like? We got so much more. JT is back in LA. Could he be back with the Dodgers next year, though? That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
Dodgers win!
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball.
Grand slam! It's a double for Freddie. Monkey magic!
They're going to make big signings. They're going to make impact trades. This is the most anticipated season in Dodgers history.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. Everything you need to know about your boys in blue in less than an hour. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Of course, every episode of Dodgers Dugout Live begins with the poll question of the show. I asked you guys over on the X, do you want to see Justin Turner finish his career with the Dodgers? And an overwhelming 80% of you right now say yes, while 20% of you say no. Got some people in the comments saying as a one-day contract, some saying no spot for him, saying no for what. But let me know down below in the comment section, would you want to see Justin Turner finish his career with the Dodgers? Today's episode of Dodgers Dugout Live is brought to you by our friends over at BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything online sports betting. Right now, you can receive a 50% off free bet of up to $250 on your first bet to bet on anything from UFC to baseball to Formula One racing. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to their online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV, that's BLEAV, for your 50% off free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. BetOnline, the game starts here. And also a reminder, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel in the game. And also comment Go Tawny down below. Getting very close. So close. We're inching so close. I mean, what's going to happen? 40, 40, or 95K? We're getting very close. Comment Go Tawny down below so you'll be eligible for our next big giveaway, a Shohei Ohtani authentic road gray Dodgers jersey. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, comment Go Tawny down below. Also, I got producer Tony Taters, Antonio, looking for your fire takes. He's looking for your comments of the show. And when he sees those, he's going to feature them on the screen. And also those super chats as well. And of course, I've got my man, Mr. Young Lotto, Noel Sanchez, always representing, also looking for your comments as well. So they will be on the lookout. We got Juice Arrows. His name is Chug McKain. No Chug McKain today, but for sure, some point very soon. Hopefully after a Dodgers win tonight, Game 2 of this 3-game series against the Mariners. But let me know down below where you're representing Dodgers Nation. Any big hot Dodgers takes, definitely throw those in there. We got Lance Lynn just gave up another home run from Terry over on YouTube. Going to give you a nice little bruh for that one. Got a lot of Go Tawnies down below. Big Joe Smashy D-Mac, fire the home plate from last night. Yeah, wasn't a big fan of him. That's from Big Joe Smash. Give you a nice little Let's Go Dodgers for that one. We got Kineski says, when will Ohtani, are you going to the game tonight? I will not be there tonight. Going tomorrow, though, but tonight should be a good time. Teoscar Hernandez bobblehead night. But we got Visalia in the house from Jesus. We got lots of Go Tawnies. We got Dustin over on YouTube says, yesterday might have been my favorite game all year. Yeah, definitely was a great game. We're going to talk about that. But the biggest story in Dodger baseball, that's coming up next, the leadoff. So the Dodgers, they get the win yesterday. They beat the Mariners by a final score of 3-0. They improved to 74-52, a 3-game lead in the division. They're tied right atop for best record in baseball with the Phillies. Phillies do have the tiebreaker, so they're technically ahead. But it was a dominant performance from Gavin Stone. Max Muncy was back. Tommy Edman made his Dodger debut. The Dodgers roster looked very different from the game before that in St. Louis because you had Max Muncy back. You had Tommy Edman in the lineup. Andy Pages was optioned. Nick Ahmed was DFA'd. Kike Hernandez wasn't playing first. It was Freddie Freeman. And a very different lineup, but the big story to start the game was Justin Turner making his return to Dodger Stadium. And JT is one of the most beloved Dodgers in this generation. And it was great to see his former teammates and Dave Roberts out meeting with him before the game. They were doing some bro hugs, giving him some daps. They gave him a $10,000 check for his foundation. And Justin Turner is always going to be a Dodger. I mean, practically has that Dodgers jersey under that Mariners jersey because of just everything he's done for this franchise. And I think what people forget is that even though Justin Turner is not on this Dodgers team anymore, he's still very much a part of this core, the foundation that allows them to go out there and trade and sign a Mookie Betts and sign a Shohei Ohtani. Never forget, it was Justin Turner and Clayton Kershaw. They were originally a part of that Shohei Ohtani pitch meeting back in late 2017 before he signed with the Angels. And it was Justin Turner who, along with Adrian Gonzalez, where they were the big clubhouse leaders when you got this run going, where they were actually getting back to the World Series, where, yes, in 2013, that's when the run started of 11 consecutive postseason appearances, but the run really began when they were making it deep in the postseason, when you made your first World Series appearance since 1988. You made it to back-to-back World Series, 2017 and 2018. And Justin Turner was a big part of that. And before the game, I asked Dave Roberts about the impact that Justin Turner had on his career, and here's what he had to say. So, oh man. All right. Okay. So we don't have that. We'll probably play it in a little bit here, but basically what Dave Roberts told me was that he definitely was one of the big clubhouse leaders and one of the biggest reasons why he was able to get that buy-in, and he was able to get that really association with his players and be that leader that allowed for that team to go on that run that they went on. And Justin Turner did say that this is a special place to him. JT told the fans before the game, "This place is very special to me. 9 years of my career here on a lot of really good baseball teams, won a championship in 20. Just looking forward to seeing a lot of the fans and hopefully put on a good show for them." So it was definitely great to hear him say that. I did think the ovation wasn't as loud as I thought it was going to be. Wasn't the loudest ovation for Justin Turner. I think that Hello Kitty Night had a little bit to do with that. But still, the question is, could you bring him back as a Dodger next season? I was talking to Dave Vassay about this, and he asked JT about that possibility. And I think JT is someone who wants to continue his playing career. Everyone will tell you that JT is a baseball junkie, that he wants to play this game as long as he possibly can. And if the Dodgers wanted him back and it was on a one-year deal, maybe it's possible. Dave Vassay was comparing him to guys like Chase Utley and David Freese, those types of players that could come off the bench and pitch hit in certain situations. And a couple years ago, I think the big difference was JD Martinez, that was a one-year deal when he signed here. And when JT left and he signed with the Red Sox, that included that player option. So JT knew that Ohtani was probably on the horizon, that year was a transition year, and he probably was going to be back the following season because at this stage of his career, he is a DH, can play first, can play second, can play third, and it just depends on if the Dodgers are willing to bring in a player that doesn't have very much versatility. It's not like you can use him as a pinch runner, but I mean, who's going to say no to Justin Turner? I mean, Los Angeles, I mean, they would welcome him back with open arms. At the very least, he's going to get that one-day contract that Matt Kemp signed to retire a Dodger. I'll definitely think that's 100% a possibility. Danatonic says, hurts to see JT in another jersey. I will say, it felt like Ginger Jesus Red Turn 2 felt right in a Boston Red Sox jersey. Toronto got a little weird. And then Mariners, that just felt even weirder yesterday. But you're reminded that JT didn't start here, right? I mean, this is a guy who's on multiple teams, Orioles and the Mets. And it's really one of the best stories that the Dodgers have had in the last 15, 20 years. The fact that he was a non-roster invitee back in 2014. There was no guarantee that he was going to make this team. He was a utility man, and there was an outside shot that he was going to make this team and be a contributor. And all of a sudden, just like that, in one of the highest salary teams in the history of Major League Baseball, he is your number 3 hitter. He is your starting third baseman. He was playing at a Gold Glove level while producing at the plate at an elite level. And he made multiple all-star teams. He had absolutely been part of the fabric of this run. And he totally reinvented himself by changing his swing. When he changed his swing, started to lift the ball more, he had more success and he was huge. Now, do I want to see Justin Turner back as a Dodger? I have to be brutally honest with you. Me personally, I would say no, just because of the simple fact that you have to maintain some optionality, some flexibility, some versatility. And I don't care if the Dodgers win a World Series this year. This lineup will $1.4 billion invest in the offseason. How about more World Series titles? For me, every decision has to be made that is centered around, does this signing enhance your chances to win a World Series? Or are you letting emotion sign players for you? Get the emotion out of it. I mean, to me, it's, does this guy help you win a World Series? And I think that Justin Turner could certainly help this team in a lot of different ways, but I also think that look who they've been able to sign in the offseason because of one-year deals. A couple years ago was JD Martinez. Last year was Teoscar Hernandez. Guys want to be Dodgers, and if you win a championship this season, you could definitely get some quality out of that. Now, I will say, love JT, and I want to see him as a Dodger manager one day. Now, as far as his best moment, we got JT turned his career around in LA. We got, oh, my man, Noise by Noel. I have amazing memories of hitting the all-you-can-eat right field pavilion and watching Justin Turner go crazy for the Dodgers. Yeah, absolutely, Noel. And I mean, what more can you say? I mean, I definitely want the all-you-can-eat pavilion back. I mean, all-you-can-eat in the right field pavilion back for sure. But what did you think of the ovation yesterday?
Yeah, I agree with you too. I think with it being Hello Kitty night and just like kind of like the timing of everything, I thought it was a little underwhelming. I saw a lot of people sitting, and when you just think of the 9 years that he put into his time with the Dodgers, and I think definitely a little more energy would have been great, but it was still good to see him have his pregame speech, get that check, and I think that's where a lot of love was shown versus with Corey Seager, Cody Bellinger. You saw during the game when they went up for their at-bat, that's when you saw a lot of love for them. So I could kind of see why he didn't get that standing ovation that lasted for like 15, 20 seconds, but it was still awesome to see the whole day go through.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I think that is the big takeaway in that one. It's just that they did it right. The Dodgers always embrace former players. Once a Dodger, always a Dodger. And for me, could break down his top plays. Of course, I loved his pitching against the Rockies, 0.0 ERA, but he'll always be a part of Dodgers history for a couple plays. I think the double play in the 2020 NLCS was a big game changer. I think his home run in the 2020 World Series was huge. Osvaldo Morton, I mean, the Dodgers had struggled with him, but of course, he'll always be remembered for his walk-off against the Cubs. John Lackey, Game 2 of the 2017 NLCS.
He's been as clutch as the Dodgers have. And Turner in the air to center field. That ball's hit well. Martinez on the run. This is way back, and it is gone. It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner.
And what was so amazing about that moment, a walk-off 3-run home run. The Dodgers win that game 4-1. They will go on to beat the Cubs in 5 games and make it back to the World Series for the first time since 1988. Well, it was the first walk-off postseason win for the Dodgers since 2009. It was their first walk-off home run in the postseason since Kirk Gibson did it in 1988. And that came on the 29th anniversary of Gibson doing just that. Think about how special that is. And that is someone that hit a walk-off that grew up as a Dodgers fan. I remember Justin Turner talking about it after the game, when he said, hey, I remember watching Gibby's walk-off home run on October 15th, 1988, and how special that was. And for him, 29 years later, to do the same thing, a guy who grew up as a Dodgers fan, it was just a special, unforgettable moment. I mean, Kirk Gibson off Dennis Eckersley, one of the most memorable plays in baseball history, and then Justin Turner to have that moment as well. It was incredible. So that's how I'll remember Justin Turner, that 2017 team, and that team should have won the World Series. But I think that he would make a great manager. But one thing that Dave Roberts also told us is, yeah, he would make a great manager, but he would also make a great front office guy. He would also make a great commentator and analyst. JT can do whatever he wants. But okay, next we're going to get into some 3 up, 3 down, 3 things I like, 3 things I don't like right now in the world of Dodger baseball. Also going to talk about that September roster and the roster expansion when teams can carry 28 players. What will the Dodgers do? That's coming up next. But let's do some 3 up, 3 down.
Swing and a miss. Here's an 0-2 again and a swing and a miss. Swinging in a high fastball. And there's that quick inning he's been looking for. 1, 2, 3 for the first time.
So Gavin Stone looked dominant last night. It was a stone cold performance from one of the best Dodgers pitcher this year, the only Dodgers pitcher that has not had a stint on the IL. So find every single piece of wood in your house and knock on that after saying that. But Gavin Stone was fantastic once again. And the big difference is the strikeouts were up. The whiff rate was up, a 62% whiff rate on that changeup yesterday. And his line, 7 innings of work. He was incredible. 10 strikeouts, allowed just 2 hits in 7 innings, no runs, 10 strikeouts, 2 walks, ends up throwing 90 pitches on the night. And I think the big takeaway for me was that fastball command is so precise on the edges, and the way that changeup stays in the strike zone, looks like a fastball, that is going to be his ticket to being an elite pitcher. If he's going to get there, that's where his ceiling's at, is continuing to master that pitch. And it was on display yesterday. That changeup, I've said it before, say it again, nastier than a gas station bathroom. It was as nasty as I've seen it yesterday. And it's not just the move and the tumble out of the zone. It was the fact that it had that appearance of being a fastball late, and it was sharp. So really, really impressed by Gavin Stone yesterday. I think that one of the underlying storylines is kind of, what do you do with that number 4 starter spot? And what do you do with Gavin Stone if he's not starting game 4? And I think that there's no doubt about it, after the year that he's had this season, he's a lock to make that postseason roster. Could still see him starting a postseason game. And at that point in the season, depending on where he's at, how much gas is in the tank, I mean, they're going to lean on him. I mean, he's definitely going to factor in heavily because he has that stuff and the command that you need when it matters most. I thought other thing was impressive yesterday. How many pitches did he throw? It was insane. Changeup, 4-seam, sinker, slider, curveball, sweeper, cutter. Threw 7 pitches yesterday. 29% changeup, 29% 4-seam fastball, and the velocity was up on that heater as well. He topped out at 96.8 miles per hour, averaged 95.5. So what you see in Gavin Stone is, unfortunately, what you don't see in Bobby Miller at the moment is command in the zone. And talk to him after the game, and the big takeaway for me is he knew that after that start against the White Sox, when he pitched 9 scoreless innings and had a shutout, that the mechanics started to get a little sloppy. And he talked about refining those mechanics and the release point and just the delivery towards the plate. And you're seeing him work all downhill. You're seeing the mechanics smooth out. And I think that he's in a really good spot to finish the season strong and continue to make his case to have big time postseason moments for this team. Everyone's talking about Glass now. Everyone's talking about Yamamoto coming back. Everyone's talking about Jack Flaherty, the acquisition, how Clayton Kershaw has looked. I think that right now, Gavin Stone's overshadowed, and he's pitching as well as those guys. And yes, the Mariners, worst batting average in baseball. The third worst OPS in baseball. But after what we saw last night, I mean, it was incredible. I mean, I also want to give credit to Freddie Freeman's defense there in the 6th inning. He allowed a 2-out walk to Randy Arozarena. He steals second. You had Cal Raleigh at the plate, and he absolutely smoked one on a 1-2 pitch that had a 920 expected batting average. Freddie Freeman leaps up, and he makes the catch. So what I talked about at the top of the show, Kike Hernandez isn't at first base. It's now 6'4" plus Freddie Freeman who can reach up and make plays like that, because that goes through. Mariners end up scoring, and it's a tight ball game at that point. But yesterday was the Dodgers' first time they had a 7 shutout inning performance with at least 10 strikeouts since all the way back in April, when Glasnow had a 14 strikeout performance against the Minnesota Twins. So, hey, I want to see more of this Gavin Stone. I think it's definitely something to build on. Definitely a step in the right direction. I'm going to give him a let's go Dodgers. Now, my first down goes to MLB Network. And I love MLB Network. I watch it every day. It's definitely on in my household like 60% of the time. But did you see their ranking for the top 5 faces of baseball? At 5, they had Paul Skeens. At 4, it was Bobby Witt Jr. 3 was Bryce Harper. And 2 is Shohei Ohtani behind Aaron Judge. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that. Shohei Ohtani is hands down the face of Major League Baseball. Judge and Harper, they are strong at number 2, strong at number 3. Yes, Aaron Judge is still the best hitter in baseball, and he plays for the biggest franchise in baseball, the New York Yankees. But Shohei Ohtani is global. Shohei Ohtani is the main character of this movie. Judge and Harper, they're the supporting cast. That's just the truth. Because if you ask people and they have to pay to see one guy play, it's going to be Shohei. And maybe it's a little different this year because he's not pitching, but he's still making history. He still could be the first 50-50 player in baseball history. He certainly is probably going to be the first 45 plus stolen bases with 50 home runs potentially as well. He's going to be the first designated hitter to win the MVP. Ohtani is number 1, and it's just the truth. And I love Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge, all rise, a major player for sure. But 100 years from now, they'll be talking about Shohei Ohtani. They'll talk some Aaron Judge for sure, but Shohei Ohtani is 100% the face of Major League Baseball. And I get it. It depends on who you ask. You ask people on the East Coast, they're going to say maybe Aaron Judge. You ask people in Venezuela, they might say Altuve and Miggy. You ask Dominican Republic, it's different. You ask people on the West Coast, it's different. But, I mean, Japan is a baseball-crazed country where he's 100% the most famous person in the entire country. Shohei Ohtani is the face of baseball. It is not Aaron Judge. Just get that straight. Now, next up, I like, and we do a big up for this one. Give me a let's go Dodgers. Is yesterday felt like it was the first time we saw this team in the way that we're going to see them in the postseason with their best lineup, their A squad. I mentioned it at the top of the show here. You had Tommy Edman. He made his Dodgers debut yesterday. It was an opening night for Tommy Edman, and it was a small glimpse, but definitely a very positive sign from what you're going to see from Edman. And I talked to Edman before the game. I asked him about his bat, and we know he's great at defense, a Gold Glove caliber, a Gold Glove winning defender. But what does he need to do to continue to be the guy that he was a couple seasons ago and not last season, where he was an above average bat? And he told me consistency. He's healthy, seeing the ball the way he is this year. He feels really good about his swing mechanics. So he's very encouraged with the way that he looks. And Tommy Edman last night was able to get a hit. He goes 1 for 3. And he was also doing some work on the base pass as well. So some comments here. Jacob G, Skeens over Betts is crazy. Yeah, the Skeens glazing, as Noel would say, has been pretty ridiculous at this point, if we're being quite honest. I mean, I love Paul Skeens. He's a phenomenon. I will say Paul Skeens is certainly a phenomenon, and it's good for baseball. Mookie Betts not being on that list, I think, is criminal as well. I mean, especially when you look at the fact that Mookie's been so good for so long. He's almost starting to fall in that Mike Trout territory where you're kind of starting to take it for granted. But yeah, Mookie is certainly one of the faces of the league. Paul Skeens, he's a needle mover, though. I will say that. We got Justin Martinez. Justin Turner didn't turn his career around when he got to LA. He had his career in LA. I see what you mean by there, for sure. But yeah, I mean, he still was in the big leagues at that point, and his career definitely was nothing like they thought it was going to be when he had arrived. I mean, Justin Turner was a scrappy player, not someone that you would ever predict would hit over 20 home runs. That's not the kind of guy he was when he was with Baltimore, when he was with the Mets. And yeah, in LA, hits 27 home runs 3 different times, changed his swing. His best year was, 2018, a 154 weighted runs created plus, hit 312 that season. So yeah, I think that's a fair take. I'll give you a fire take for that one. We got the Ismael Sanchez. Gavin needs to shower 3 times. He looked filthy last night. That's what I'm talking about. It's comment of the show. We got Michael O'Brien, JT, a true Dodger through and through. Michael O'Brien, he bleeds Dodger blue. And so does JT. We got MH Gavin written in the stone. I like that one. Give you a Let's Go Dodgers for that one. Christopher JT special assistant, then future manager. I like that. Big Joe Smash. DMAC Dodgers should retire JT's number. That I couldn't disagree with you more. I love Justin Turner. He's not a Hall of Famer. On top of that, I mean, if you're going to retire a number 10, it has to be Ron Say. Okay, so come on now. I mean, the Penguin is someone who was one of the best players for the Dodgers in the late 70s and the 80s. I mean, the career that he had with the Dodgers. I mean, you look at what he did. I mean, Ron Say, a 53.7 WAR player. Justin Turner, the Hall of Good for sure, but a 37 WAR player, not a Hall of Famer. So the rule for the Dodgers is you have to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, or there has to be some special circumstances like Fernando Valenzuela. And we saw Fernando Valenzuela, the impact that he had. That was a no-brainer. And also the fact with Fernando Valenzuela was that he was someone that was already basically a retired number because it was unofficially retired. And then there's Jim Gilliam. Jim Gilliam, his number 19 was retired by the Dodgers in 1978 because he passed away during the postseason, and they retired his number at 19. So love me some Justin Turner, love him as much as the next guy, but I like the fact that they have high standards. I mean, they're like the Yankees. Yankees retire anyone's number, right? They're running out of numbers. To be a retired Dodger, you had to do something extraordinary like Fernando Valenzuela, a tragedy like Jim Gilliam, or be in the Hall of Fame. So, I mean, Ron Say is definitely in front of JT for number retiring. I will say, JT, Legend of Dodger Baseball, absolutely see him there. Victor Banos, I think 55 is first. Hershiser deserves his number retired. I agree with you on that one. The man essentially single-handedly won a World Series for the Dodgers in 1988. I would definitely on board with that. I mean, he's not a Hall of Famer, but I mean, he has a case to deserve some consideration for sure. We got the Tommy Alvarado. Rosarena is struggling more with the Mariners. Jacob G. Dodgers love their hometown guys. JT Barnes, Glass, Flaherty, Fried next season. Hey, we talked about Max Fried on the show a couple different times, and he certainly is someone that would look good in Dodger blue. We'll kind of see how things shake out, though, for sure. I mean, who knows? If they like what they see in Jack Flaherty, they try to bring him back. Walker Buehler goes tonight, and this is a slump buster for Walker Buehler. He needs to find a way to have a good start against the team with the lowest batting average. If he can't have success against tonight's Mariners team, then the concern is going to be real, but it really just depends. But getting back to this, Stephen Blevins, will Ohtani 17 get retired? Yes, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. It's going to get retired for sure. I think Ohtani goes down as the best pound for pound Dodger of all time as their position player. I mean, I think Sandy Koufax still is at the top of the mountain, Clayton Kershaw, but I think when it's all said and done, 10 years of Shohei Ohtani, we'll talk some more Shohei in a little bit, although he's not playing his best right now. But that's what I like. Yesterday, Max Muncy back. And Max Muncy having a lot of success in his first game back. And Tommy Edman contributing. The bottom of that lineup is producing, and they're complementing the top line. And they only scored 3 runs yesterday, but that potential is there to see a consistent lineup 90+% of the time with your best in there. Now, as far as the September call-ups here. Now, yesterday, they decided to option Andy Pages. And if you've been watching this show, I told you yesterday, those were going to be the moves. DFA Nick Ahmed, Andy Pages the option. Pretty much, we're batting close to 1,000 on these roster moves in the last couple of weeks because you can see them coming from a mile away. And Dave Roberts talked about why they optioned Andy Pages. And he said, because he has options, you just don't want to lose a player. And I just don't see Andy getting a lot of opportunities until September 1st. And I was in that clubhouse, saw Andy Pages' locker. Stuff was getting taken out. He wasn't upset. He knows the business. And he knows he's going to get another opportunity in September. And basically, it's as simple as that. The Dodgers don't have a ton of guys who have options, so you have to take advantage of them, and you don't want to lose a roster spot and lose a guy because you have to DFA him. So translation there, I speak fluent Dave Roberts, and decoding that is them saying we did not want to DFA Jason Hayward because that's the only way you get Jason Hayward off the active and off the roster to make space is DFA him, or does he go on the IL later this week when Chris Taylor comes back? Does he go on the IL when they have to make their decision as far as who's included in their 13 players for the postseason? I'm still of the mind that Andy Pages deserves to be on the postseason roster. I think that you look at the bat, 937 OPS, 290 batting average in the month of August, and he can slug for you. 5 doubles, a home run this month. We saw how he looked early in the season. The bat speed, I think, plays up. He can play center field in a pinch. You can throw him in the corner outfield spots where he's best served for sure. So I think that Pages comes up in September, and I think he gets an opportunity to play, and he can still earn a spot on the postseason roster. And when you look at what they're going to do in September, you don't need to use both of the pitchers' spots. You can get multiple position players. The max pitchers you can have is 14. But I think that with Jason Hayward and Chris Taylor, Dave Roberts told us that Chris Taylor could be back by the end of this week and he's on a rehab assignment in Rancho. I would not be shocked to see Jason Hayward go on the IL. So I'm not going to say that there'll be a banana peel by his locker and he'll slip or something like that, or they're going to see if the back is barking a little bit or the knees are sore. But Chris Taylor could be back this week. And Andy Pages and Chris Taylor could both be on this team in September. And then you're fighting for a roster spot because here's the locks for the postseason. Shohei Ohtani, Moogie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, Will Smith, Gavin Lux, Max Muncy, Miguel Rojas, Tommy Edman. Tommy Edman's like lock adjacent, but I still think he's a lock. You're already at 9. Austin Barnes, who did suffer a fracture in his toe. Pages for the Cardinals found a ball off his toe there in the 6th inning. Dave Roberts said it's a pain tolerance thing, doesn't expect it to go past the 10-day IL. Austin Barnes, 100%, of course, going to be a part of this postseason roster. So you're at 10 right there. Then you have Kevin Kiermaier, Kike Hernandez, Jason Hayward, Chris Taylor, Andy Pages. you have 5 guys for 3 spots. And with the way that Kevin Kiermaier can change the game with his glove, with the fact that the bat has been better with the Dodgers, he's not league average yet, but the numbers have already started to improve for Kevin Kiermaier at the plate. And that's definitely a sign that he, like he said, Kevin Kiermaier said the Dodgers pump life into him. And this year with Toronto, he hit 195. With the Dodgers in 13 games, that's up to 226. The OPS has gone from 546 to 628. OPS plus at 76. So he's still below league average. But if he continues to trend in the right direction, I think they love him late in the game to just change and impact the game with his defense. We saw what Cody Bellinger did in 2020. A postseason game can change because of one play in center field. Richard Flores, a 199 super chat. Kiermaier's earned his spot, period. It's a fire take from Richard over there on YouTube. Totally agree. He has, look, this is Hollywood, right? It's all about auditions. Can you nail the audition? Kevin Kiermaier has nailed the audition. And I think that you can't have him be a dead bat, but as long as he's not the worst bat, he's definitely going to make this roster. I'm all about Kevin Kiermaier, and possibly Tommy Edman can play some shortstop too with Miguel Rojas, and he's a switch hitter. So you can see Tommy Edman at short, Kiermaier in center field. Imagine that defense right there late in the game. So now we're up to 11. Then you get to 2 spots for Kike Hernandez, Jason Hayward, Chris Taylor, and Andy Pages. So Kike, we know about the glasses, and he has prescription in one of the lenses. And how big of a difference that has made. Kike certainly turned his season around with those glasses. Having said that, he definitely has fallen into a little bit of a slump. In August, hitting 268, 728 OPS, hasn't had a ton of success of late, but he fills a valuable role. He has positional versatility in the infield, can play in the outfield, and quite frankly, his flashes have been higher than Chris Taylor. But my question is, if Kike is the 12th guy on the roster, and you have one spot between Jason Hayward, Chris Taylor, Andy Pages, Chris Taylor, we know what he's done in the past. We know Og Taylor is real. If I had to bet, I'd probably just say that Chris Taylor, unless he doesn't hit at all when he comes back, probably have to believe that they're going to give him a chance. But don't forget, for most of the season, Chris Taylor has struggled, even though he's had some high points. And before the injury, he was really starting to turn things around. I mean, he was much better in July, but still, I mean, hitting a 606 OPS. His best month was in June when he was hitting 278 with an 861 OPS. So if they get the 861 June version of Chris Taylor, CT3 will most likely be a part of that postseason roster because the Dodgers love his experience. They love what he's done in the postseason. He's a trusted guy for them. But do you really need Chris Taylor and Kike Hernandez? That's my question. I mean, you're both right-handed bats. You both provide positional versatility in the infield and the outfield. Or do you go with Andy Pages, who I think has the potential to be a higher upside bat? Probably not, but clearly there's going to be a battle. There's going to be a battle between Chris Taylor, Andy Pages, and we'll see if Jason Hayward, if he's not on the IL at some point, and what that really means. Because if he's on the IL, he can't prove to the Dodgers that he deserves a spot on this postseason roster. And Jason Hayward, he doesn't have a lot of positional versatility that they're going to need. And Dave Roberts, we asked him about Jason Hayward yesterday and his role on the team. And by the way it sounds, this is kind of a tough one to decode, but Dave told us, I like him taking balls out in center field to give us some options. I see him off the bench. Right now, it's hard to sit Mookie, and Tommy's coming back, and I want him to get out there. So that sounds like to me that they're still keeping it warm for Jason Hayward. They know that Freddie Freeman is his guy. They know that Freddie Freeman probably would not be happy if they DFA'd him, But like I said, the IL, that can make some sense because I've said it before on the show, Jason Hayward, if he's not a corner outfielder with Mookie in right and Teo in left full time, he's not going to be in center because you have Kiermaier and Tommy Edman. Do you really look at him as a bench bat because he's a left-handed bench bat who you would have against right-handed pitching? So, I mean, are you going to pinch hit him for Miguel Rojas late in the game and force yourself to use another shortstop for the following inning? So I think it's just a numbers game. And two, it just comes down to the fact that unless Jason Hayward starts to really produce like he did last season, it's tough to see him deserving that spot. At least I'll put it that way. Last season, he was great. 120 weighted runs created plus, hit 15 home runs. This year, 203 batting average, and he's been 15% below league average. So I just don't think that right now Jason Hayward deserves a spot over Andy Pages. And Andy Pages makes more sense as a right-handed bat you could bring off the bench, and Chris Taylor has that pedigree as well. But coming up, excuse me, guys, coming up next, we're going to read more of your super chats. We're going to talk more about what we like, what we don't like, some more on Shohei Ohtani and what he needs to do to get out of his slump and kind of where he's at and that incredible play he made yesterday, him getting out of that pickle. I think he should have gotten credit for stealing first base on that one, but that's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live. What is up, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here, and I'm here to remind you that if you haven't yet, do us a huge favor and follow us on all of our social media platforms. We have over 280,000 followers on Instagram, 270,000 followers on X, over 500,000 followers on Facebook. You can also find us on Threads and TikTok. All you have to do, go to Instagram, find us, follow us, and you'll stay locked in on all things Dodger baseball, everything that's going on social media, everything that's going on with the team, exclusive content. You're going to find it right over there. So join over 1 million Dodgers fans and follow Dodgers Nation. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live. Now, keeping it moving here. Some more stuff we like, we don't like. 3 up, 3 down. Next thing for down. I don't know if you guys saw this. It's really grinded my gears. ESPN had Teoscar Hernandez on their list of most overrated players in baseball this season. Did you see this?
On ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus. That was something, wasn't it?
I think Noel said, hey, I'm not even going to pay to continue reading. Right?
I know, yeah. I canceled my subscription after that one. No, I'm just kidding.
Canceled it?
No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, look, I mean, that's what we call rage bait, right? That's what we call rage bait. That's that triple C. Controversy creates clicks. And if you look at their methodology, I actually did click continue reading. I read the whole thing. But if you did look at their methodology, they basically compared a player's WAR to the voting they received in the All-Star balloting. So their All-Star ballot results with their WAR numbers. And basically what you're saying there is, hey, man, this guy's overrated because he's likable. This guy's overrated because he plays for a franchise that has a lot of fans. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And that's not a reason to call someone overrated. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, ESPN, don't they have the Cowboys to talk about?
Facts.
Don't they have LeBron to talk about? Aren't they busy talking about CeeDee Lamb's contract dispute and Aaron Rodgers? It's baseball. I'm not going to ESPN for baseball. And all due respect, and I love Buster Olney. He's a friend of the show. But unless it's Buster Olney or Tim Kirchin or the Ravi Train or Jessica Mendoza or anyone who works at ESPN that kind of lives and breathes baseball, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt because you had Mike Trout, Vladimir Guerrero, Paul Goldschmidt, and Manny Machado were also on that list. Mike Trout could have gone out as the best player of his generation, worked for injuries. Still probably is. Vladimir Guerrero, best first baseman of his generation. Paul Goldschmidt, elite. Machado is Manny Machado. So I just found that laughable because Teoscar Hernandez has played a valuable role for this Dodgers team. I think one thing that you have to mention with Teoscar Hernandez before you even say any of his statistics is his ability to stay healthy when it feels like the entire team has sustained some injuries this season. Of course, you got Gavin Stone and you have Gavin Lux, the Gavins has stayed healthy. But I mean, Teoscar's been in 123 games this season. Hits 263, 127 weighted runs created plus. So he's 27% above league average. He's hit 26 home runs, 80 RBI. He's definitely done exactly what they need him to do. And I don't think that you can assess Teoscar Hernandez's season until you get to the postseason. The postseason is the season for the Dodgers. That's why they signed him, to be that valuable right-handed bat that rakes against southpaws, that mashes against left-handed pitching. So ESPN, you are a guy, an apology. All-Star Hernandez is his name, and his bobblehead is tonight. The disrespect for Teoscar Hernandez. Just couldn't take that. But another up I want to talk about is Max Muncy, because I don't think Max Muncy gets the credit he deserves and how key he is for this offense, because he brings something that this offense has been missing. And that is someone that can go yard down in the order, and also is not going to expand, has a great strike zone awareness, and he has the ability to punish mistakes, also gets on base via the walks. And last night, Max Muncy hits his home run. His first game back, it was a 2-run shot. And the interesting thing after the game for me with Max Muncy was what he said about the chiropractor that got him healthy, got him back when he did. And I said it before, I'll say it again. When the Dodgers do ultimately, hopefully, no, they're going to do it. When the Dodgers win the World Series, that chiropractor is getting a ring. Here, listen to Max Muncy talking about the chiropractor and how it got him healthy.
Yeah, so we kind of think I just had my bottom rib was popped out of place somehow. And, you know, I was getting adjusted the whole time that I was you know, on the shelf, and it just wasn't ever getting set back properly. And so the oblique was healed, but I'd have a couple days swinging and it'd be really good, ball be coming off hot, and then I'd wake up on the third or fourth day and it would be like I had the day one of injury. And so we were trying to figure out what exactly was going on with that. And we eventually got it figured out after I don't know how many scans and bone scans and MRIs, and we eventually finally got it figured out. And you know, once we got it set back, and then I got an injection the next day, 2 days later, it really felt like I had never been hurt before. So it was just, you know, from that point, that's why everything went really fast as soon as that happened.
As we have Philip Fountain says, nobody at ESPN has seen a baseball game since Derek Jeter and Big Poppy retired. That's a fire take from Philip Fountain. Yeah, the ESPN. That's the same network where Stephen A. Smith, a.k.a. Screamin' A. Smith, who I respect, but isn't he the same guy that said Shohei Ohtani couldn't be the face of baseball because he wasn't fluent in English? Come on, man. That's a top 5 worst take I've ever heard. But Max Muncy, getting back to him, so impressed by his night, and I think that what he's going to do, and one of the storylines to watch, is Max Muncy batting in the 7th hole. That is how long this team is. That's how long this lineup is, that you have Max Muncy, an all-star 30-plus home run hitter, batting 7th. I wonder how long that's going to last. Will Gavin Lux sustain what he's built in the second half of the season? I hope he does, for sure. But with the way they like to stagger the lineup, Max Muncy as your 7th hitter, man, that is serious damage down there in the order. Max also talked about the fact that his swing, where it's at right now, he likes it, and he doesn't think that it's going to be a long transition. So expect production early on for Muncy.
Not necessarily the easiest guy to come back against. You know, that's definitely one of the best fastballs in baseball, and you know, our whole team was saying so. So it's I wouldn't say the timing felt great, but you know, like I said, not the best guy to be coming back against. So you know, feel like I had a couple decent at bats. You know, got a good ball in play, and you know, I'd call that a win. You know, the mechanics feel really good. Obviously, the timing's not entirely where I want it to be, but that's just something that's going to come with, you know, more time out there on the field. You know, there's only so much time you can have doing a rehab assignment, and so it's you know, timing's not exactly where I want it to be, but mechanically it feels pretty good. Hopefully, just be myself. You know, put together good at bats, see some pitches, hit the ball hard a couple times. Just allow everyone else to be themselves. It felt like, you know, you watch this team and feel like guys are trying to be people that they weren't, and hopefully, you know, I can just go up there, do what I do best, see a lot of pitches, and even if I'm making outs, I'm still seeing pitches, and that allows everyone else to kind of just gear up for what they need to do and not try to be someone else.
So excited to see Max Muncy back in this lineup. I do not know why he's managed to be underrated as far as what he brings to this team. So I almost think he's kind of what he's in the Teoscar tier, him and Max Muncy. Not the Freddie, Shohei, or Mookie, but it's Muncy, it's Teoscar. It's guys that can do damage that aren't your top 3 hitters that are going to be the reason why this team avoids those dry spells in the postseason, that are able to put up runs in big spots against big time competition. So great to see Muncy back. I just wonder, though, for guys bat mainly in the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th spot, has bad cleanup, is he really going to stay 7th for the entire way? Depends. I mean, how long will Gavin Lux sustain this? I think that at the end, once the postseason rolls around, you'll see Max Muncy batting higher in the order. I think 7th, a nice little landing spot for him. But let's do some super chats here. 499 super chat. Bring back Thor and have him work as a grounds crew member. That is the comment of the show. I like that. I'm gonna give you a comment of the show right there. Obviously, it's kind of mean, but it's also kind of funny. Yeah. Grounds crew member. I don't know. I think that for me, a batting practice coach, home run derby coach. I mean, that definitely would probably serve him right, but it's all respect. I mean, Ghost Bear, $5 super chat. Really appreciate it. Give you a Let's Go Dodgers. Speaking of the playoffs, does Kershaw's strikeouts in the playoffs count towards his career strikeout total? Great question. The answer is no. Great question. The answer is no. Clayton Kershaw is 37 strikeouts away from 3,000 for his career. And he'd be the 20th pitcher in baseball history to accomplish that feat. But if he goes on some tears, we see some 10 strikeout games, you never know. But really, I think he's going to have to come back next season to accomplish that feat. But no, to answer your question, he's at 2,963 strikeouts, so 37 away. And in the postseason, he has racked up a lot of strikeouts as well, 213 strikeouts. So you know what? How about we just say he's already had 3,000 strikeouts at the big league level. We could also throw in his spring training stats as well, too. So he has struck out over 3,000 big league hitters, but we know to get to that number, what he really needs is to do it in the regular season. That's why, like I said on yesterday's show, his narrative, his career story, I think is going to change a lot with another World Series. And if he gets to another World Series and he participates in it as well, I think that if he has a big run and accomplishes the individual and team accomplishments toward the end, they're going to forget about a lot of the rough years where he had Don Mattingly unfairly running him into the ground. If you didn't, go back and watch my interview with Andy McCullough where we dive into that. So definitely excited to see him accomplish that one day, because certainly a GOAT, man. Doesn't get treated like it sometimes, but yeah, there's only 19 members of that 3,000 strikeout club, and only 3 of the 19 are lefties. You got Randy Johnson, Steve Carlton, and CC Sabathia. So he would be just the 4th left-handed pitcher in Major League Baseball history to have 3,000 strikeouts. But Frozen Shogun says, give ESPN a bruh, D-Mac. You got it. Bruh. I love the ESPN, but I mean, come on. I mean, overrated. Teoscar, he's been great. Beerus Samus, we got Kike Hernandez got those Tony Stark glasses. It's a fire take. Tony Stark, Kike. Give you a win there. Barry Sanchez, we need KK's glove out there for sure. He's a roster lock for me at this point. I mean, defense matters. Defense wins. And I totally agree. JRW fan, $5 super chat. Give you a Let's Go Dodgers for that. Really appreciate that. That's going to the Teoscar Extension Fund. Bueller's stuff is great, but different. Altering muscle memory and throwing with a mental ease and confidence is hard. Hopefully Seattle is the right medicine. Yeah, I mean, this is the slump busting game. This is the get right opportunity for Walker Buehler. And you're right. The velocity hasn't dipped tremendously. It's still there. It's just the command. He has to put it where he wants it. That's what Gavin Stone did last night. That's why he went 7 scoreless. And I think this is going to be a big test for him to see if he can get big league hitters out and go deeper into games. Because if he gets rocked tonight against the least productive lineup and offensive team in baseball for the majority of this season, it could get dark as far as his future and what he can contribute to this team. I mean, you look at starters for the postseason. I'm not going to get fully into this, but I mean, we know the 3 locks, but the 4 and 5, as far as the starters that will be included on that postseason roster, right now, if it was tomorrow, would be Kirsch and Gavin Stone. So are you confident with Buehler in the bullpen? I don't know if I'm confident with a guy that doesn't have the command right now. So he has a lot to pitch for tonight. I mean, he's almost pitching for his Dodgers future. If we're being 100% honest and putting it out there on the table, like to keep 100 on the show. Abstract $2 CT3 needs a 360-day IL. Okay, that's a bro. That's a bro. I'm gonna give you a finish in for that one as well. If I can find it. There you go. We got Abstract says, if I'm Hayward, I'm mad as hell if they're telling me to go on the IL for CT3. Yeah, kind of just depends on how you look at it, but we'll see how things pan out. I mean, you got Blake Trinan coming back tonight. And with that, I mean, I'm assuming, they're going to want to get some innings from Ben Casparius. So you want to see what you can get from him. We saw they got 4 innings from Landon Ack the other day. You want to take advantage of that. But again, Ben Casparius is definitely someone that I think they're going to want to get something out of before they send him down, take advantage of those innings. And I think Daniel Hudson is due for the IL stint, right? The nice little IL vacay. So for sure, we got, it's like when you have those, it's like when Noel, he has those planned sick days, you know?
Me, that's our guy, Noah Cameron.
That's Noah Cameron.
That's not
Yeah.
me.
Noah Cameron, he's the planned sick day. Daniel Hudson needs a planned sick day. I think that's what we're gonna have.
He needs to study Noah's
recharge. Yeah, we'll give him the blueprint there. A $4.99 super chat from Going to Blue Heaven 27. I love your username there. 37 strikeouts to go. 37 to go. Number 37 bobblehead night. It's all in the numbers. I like what you did there. I mean, big into numerology. I'll give you a home run there. So a good walk-off shot here. So give me your walk-off shots. We got to Jose Martinez, $4.99. Lots of super chat money. I love it. What's up?
Who's going deep tonight?
Well, we
got to show love.
We got to give Tony Tater some credit because he called the Max Muncy bomb.
He did.
So shout out to you. Look, Shohei Ohtani, we need a Shohei Ohtani tear. We need the Shohei Ohtani in the second half of the season. He's been great. And yes, I know what people out there saying. I hear it and I get it. Yeah, this is like complaining about being the poorest billionaire, right? I see it. I get it. But still, second half, after the All-Star break, Shohei hitting 207, 306 on base, 534 slug, 10 home runs, a 125 weighted runs created plus. That's the second half after the break. First half hit 316. That's down to 207. On base from 400 to 306. Slug 635 down to 534. The weighted runs created plus, which was second behind Judge and before the All-Star break, was at 183 down to 125. And I'm not here to say that Ohtani's bad or Ohtani's this, Ohtani's that. I'm saying Ohtani's due to explode. So until I'm going to predict an Ohtani home run every night. But you know what? How about this? I'll do 2 home runs. I'll do Shohei Ohtani hits 1. You know what? We're due for a bets blast.
Big time.
So give me bets and then who you got?
I got Mookie again too. I think we're due for one as well. He's loading up, getting comfortable again. I think we see a Mookie once a night.
I like that. A bets blast. How about you? You're hot right now, Tony Taters. This is the one to bet on, guys.
All right. I'm just going to go bold. Tonight's going to be the first night the big 3 hits a home run in the same game.
The MV3 in the same game. Back to back? Or
just total.
That'd be amazing.
Back to back. That'd be too crazy. But I'm going to say tonight's the night.
We might have an earthquake if that happens.
That would be special. That would be special. But I think Ohtani, 40 home run tonight, and Dodgers, they get the win. I think they're gonna have to score runs tonight because with Walker Buehler pitching like he has, hopefully he can have a big start. I saw him in the clubhouse. Definitely good energy from him. Hoping he pitches well. We got Michael O'Brien. I got to say thanks to Andy Pajes for all you've done. We will see you back soon next year. Michael, I see what you mean by that. He's going to be back in September. They're going to get some more opportunities for Andy Pajes. Lemon 818, Justin Turner should come back as a hitting coach or teach players how to stay healthy and not get injured. We got, he dealt with some hamstring. He left the 2021 NLCS towards the end, but picks Muncy power back. Yeah, the power's there. I got the Max Munchies, man. I need some Max Muncy in my life, man. Love Max Muncy, what he does for this team. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Walk-off shot here over on Twitch. Oh, I like that. Got some Twitchers in the building. Shout out to iShow Speed. Is he on Twitch? No. Is he a Twitch guy?
Hey, honestly, he needs to come to Dodger Stadium, like throw a first. I think he'd probably throw some gas.
He'd probably hit like 105 the way he's a generational athlete for no reason, right? BC for sure. That's true. But Tommy going yard. So we got Tommy Edman going yard. That's your walk-off shot from Lost 7. But thanks again, guys, for joining us as always. We'll see you after the show for the post-game show. So definitely watch that. Tune in right after tonight's game. BC, Doug made the full hour. Proud of you. Bueller finds it today from Dodger Dog. So that's the last one. Good vibes for Butane tonight. But that's going to do it, guys. My name is Doug McKain. Follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue.